Yeah.
Um,
So
so
you
it's
you
it's
you
it's
you
difficult.
also said that the newer people, the newer arm wrestlers, don't try to get away with that much stuff. Is there what are the things that the elite level arm wrestlers usually try to get away with? Maybe the experienced
Oh,
people know, but the
you're
younger
trying to
beginners don't.
trying to be as high as you can and cover as much of that knuckle as a referee will let you get away with. Let your shoulders slide out of square just a little bit.
Hmm.
Maybe hover your elbow off the pad so that you've got a little bit more mobility or a little bit more height. I mean, there's a number of
A number.
things that a more experienced arm wrestler is going to try to do to get an advantage at the start. Now, I
Is that
don't,
part of the game?
of
Is
course it
that
is, and I
part
don't
of the
know.
game? I mean, yeah,
Okay, it's a real simple thing. If the referee lets you start that way, it wasn't cheating.
that's a good one. If the referee lets you start that way, yeah.
Yeah. Now, of course, there's exceptions if you have a terrible referee and you can just absolutely screw your opponent.
Yeah,
That's cheating. It's taking advantage of a situation, but those top level guys typically aren't being ref by that low of a referee,
true, fair.
right? I mean, even in a normal here at the end of January in the United States, we have a really big tournament coming up. It's one of the bigger tournaments of the year. It's called Illinois State.
Illinois, yeah.
Yeah, big event. Also has some of the best referees in the country refing that tournament. You have Leonard Harkless, Tim Talmadge, Bill Onifray, Pat Bear, just to name a few of the referees that I
Mhm.
know are going to be there. So yeah, you've got great pro classes. You've got some of the top guys in the U.S. Knocking at the top pro levels that are going to be there, and they're going to be ref by some of the best referees in the U.S. So even in a tournament like that, you're just not going to be ref
Uh,
by
mhm.
Uncle Bob's cousin.
So you also talked, and I can clearly see this over the past few East versus West that I've watched closely. I even have watched some of them or rewatched some of them just to focus on the referee aspect. And you can definitely see a lot of criticism, like you said before. How do you personally deal with that? And what advice would you give to younger or starting referees to stand their ground? Because it can be quite difficult. I've seen in different tournaments that somebody of the club is complaining towards the referee, and he's lower, so to speak, in the hierarchy of the group, and he lets them in. He gets influenced by that person. So
Yep.
yeah.
So, I mean, how honest do you want me to be with this question?
As honest as you can, as honest as you can. I'm not sure if it's all good questions, but I'm just trying.
So, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. When you see a ton of negative comments on social media about you, it's it's very difficult not to have that impact you a little bit,
Fair,
right?
yeah.
It just is. I joke with people. I say I have one feeling. I never take it anywhere. You can't offend me. I just don't
Hmm.
care. Um, but it's still when you start reading, worst referee on the planet. My God, this guy is awful. Don't you know what? I'm not going to say that you don't that a little of that doesn't hit because we try so hard to do such a good job. But then you also have to kind of look at the source. So if you go way back to Aramis versus Devin Lorette, most of the very negative comments made towards me were all from Italian names.
Hmm.
Hmm. Okay. Now, I have apologized to Aramis because in that match, I made what I felt was a very poor mistake, very unprofessional. And I talked about it before during that because honestly, in those setups, Devin was the much easier athlete to set up.
Uh-huh.
Aramis was a problem because Devin made him so uncomfortable. Aramis was a problem setting up, especially in the
Mhm.
referee's grip. He wouldn't stop moving. Like if we would have called the fouls in the referee's grip just like East versus West is supposed to, which is loose
Mhm.
to a degree to give some flexibility so that we can start matches. If we would have not loosened up even further than we did after the first match, I don't think Aramis would have never ever seen another ready go. I think he would have completely fouled out of everything. He was so uncomfortable on the table. Um, Aramis learned so much from that match in not necessarily in arm wrestling, but in himself on how to compose himself on a table. And you've seen it as he's moved forward. He's a much better arm wrestler after that match from a personal, composed, go do my job arm wrestling standpoint.
Mhm.
Um, but I made the comment to Hermes during that match, stop whining. It was a very unprofessional way to put that.
Yeah.
I went to the next time I saw Hermes in person, I went over, I pulled him aside, I apologized. Uh, Hermes accepted my apology. As far as I know, Hermes and I are just fine. We're good. I recognize that I did something unprofessional. I corrected it.
Mm.
Um, so that's to me, that's important. That if you make a mistake, acknowledge it, do your best to correct it. In a case like that, I felt I owed Hermes an apology. I made the apology. You know, completely up to Hermes whether or not he accepts the apology. He did. Word right. You look at the Levon thing. You should never touch a referee in any sport. It's not acceptable,
It's not acceptable.
right? The number of times that Levon apologized to me after that, right? I think just that night he apologized 5 or 6 times. Right? Levon and I are just fine. I have no animosity towards Levon. I love Levon. Great guy.
Great guy.
Outstanding arm wrestler. Truly, I don't believe gets the credit that he really deserves as an arm wrestler.
Mm.
Like he is such a good technical arm wrestler, but it doesn't show because he's just got such
He's
overwhelming
just
power, right?
that strong.
It,
Yeah.
it it hides his technical prowess, but he's a very good arm wrestler.
I think many people also want to see that happen, right? They want
Correct.
to see someone challenge him enough that we can see the technical aspect of that
Right.
of him, and we
But
don't really now. Yeah.
to your question, when an arm wrestler on the table is very unhappy with me,
Hmm.
that bothers me more than somebody on social media. Most of the time that an arm wrestler on the table is telling me that I'm a horrible referee in the middle of a match, at the end of the event, almost always they come over and say, "Man, you did a great job, ref."
What?
It's the emotion of the event, right? It's the emotion of where they're at the time. I'm the same way as a competitor. I'm
Hmm.
very, very emotionally involved in my match. I have barked at referees during a match that afterwards I've gone over and said, sorry.
Sorry,
Um,
dude.
the social media aspect of it, how do you deal with it? Honestly, inside with my quiet voice, I basically just read the comment and go, fuck you, you try it. If
Do it
I'm just
better then.
if I'm just
Do it better.
honest, if I'm getting criticized from a referee, uh, it's usually a referee that doesn't have the skill set
That you have.
to rep. No, not that I have, but to rep at a high
Okay.
level.
Hmm.
And my inside voice, I don't put it out publicly because there's no point. But my inside voice is like, well, I guess when you reach a level that you get invited here, I'll take your criticism a little more seriously. So that's how I deal with the criticism is I try very hard to not care. Um, and once in a while you just kind of
Shrug it
gotta
off. Yeah.
internally go, you know what? Bite me.
Yeah.
You you try it if you think it's so easy.
And
Let,
that would
let me
apply
know
the
when
same.
you've got 20 years of referee experience all across the world and you're invited to the biggest event on the planet. Uh, and you do it flawlessly. You give me a call when you've accomplished that, and then I'll clap for you. So
And do you think that's just the same for the starting referees as well?
yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You
That's
just you
that's
just got to understand that if it's coming from social media, it's coming from somebody that doesn't know anything, they don't know you, and they just like
mm,
to see stuff on social media because we've left a world where people get punched in the nose for being stupid. And when it's the arm wrestlers, most of the time it's the heat of the moment. I mean, I have had arm wrestlers come up to me after a tournament, tell me what an amazing job I did, how I'm their favorite referee. And 20 minutes earlier, they were telling me to do very unkind things to my mother. Right. So It's just the emotion of it. Don't worry about it. Ref the match, move forward. 90% of the time, when it's all said and done, that arm wrestler is not unhappy with you anymore. And,
It's
and
calmed down,
right?
moved on.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
everybody calms down. As a referee, the other advice that I can give is as the emotions of the athletes climb on the table, yours can't.
Hmm. You
If
can't
your
level it.
emotions
Yeah.
match their emotions, it's a problem. My emotions need to calm a table, not raise the emotion. Um, Now that doesn't mean that in here it's not happening. It just can't come out here. I have to control that internally.
There needs to
Uh,
be
you
balance.
you
Fire on
said
the
it
table.
in the introduction. I control chaos at the table.
Yep.
I think most of the time, me at the table is this
Hmm.
all the time. Now, is it always perfect? Of course not.
No,
I am
you're a
human.
human. Yeah.
Yep. But I feel I do a very, very good job of being very level at the table, no matter who's hollering at me, no matter no matter what the arm wrestler's saying, no matter what Jody's screaming from the corner. I just do my job
Yeah.
and I move forward.
From
So
my from my point of view, I think you're doing a very, very professional way of arm wrestling. So it's you are basically an example for the rest of us, and I think a lot of the Dutch arm wrestlers agree that this is how we also want to eventually referee matches, right? Where we don't have the capacity yet within our country, but yeah, maybe a seminar here and there can change that in the future.
hey, I'm
So
sure we can figure out a way to get me over there and teach you guys to ref.
yeah, but first I do think maybe we need to try to grow the sport first a little bit more because I'm not sure how big we are now. I don't think it's over thousands, So
Sure.
yeah, and we are a country of like 18 million, so the U.S. is quite a lot bigger. But yeah, I think would be interesting. Maybe like connecting after an East versus West tournament or event in Europe that
Yeah.
maybe suits someday. So do you have a little bit more time? Because I do have a lot of questions still, but
I'm good until 9 o'clock or my nine. So I got 32 more minutes.
32. Oh, great, awesome.
So you're
And
going
it
to find out when you put this out that nobody watches or listens to me. So you're going to be like, why did I waste my time doing this?
You don't know that because I'm an awesome thumbnail maker, and people will definitely click on my thumbnails. So, and it's also Jake that taught me the introduction. He said, make sure that the guests you're having on feel like they're the superstars. And I mean, all the people that I have on the channel are superstars. But yeah, and that really stuck with me. So Jake has really taught me quite a bit. So yeah, I'm just gonna see where we are because we basically went over the place a little bit. So I had to. Usually I just go down the list, but now it was you were talking about this, and I was oh crap, I have a question somewhere in the last page. So all right, let me check for a second.
Well,
Um,
that's exactly what it feels like to ref a match.
I bet it is. I bet it's like all these rules I have to watch there. Yeah. A lot of the time, what I see newer arm wrestlers doing is they're working against referees, and it's a lot easier if they work with you. Are
Yep.
there any like small tips you have to work with the ref instead of working against them?
Yep. So I've heard different people say that as an arm wrestler, you have two opponents. You have the person across the table from you and the referee.
Mhm.
And again, I'm obviously biased because I'm a referee,
Yeah.
but I'm also a competitor. And I think it's one of the absolute most damaging comments that arm wrestlers can make, especially arm wrestlers that have an audience. I think it paints a very, very poor picture. Now, there are absolutely times that personally I have been refed by referees that are not that great of referees,
Mhm.
and it makes it very difficult to win a match because it's just not being run well.
Mhm.
But it's not the majority of the time. It's certainly not the norm when you start to get to bigger and bigger events, higher quality events. It's not the norm. Um, an arm wrestler is way better off walking to the table and working with the referee to get a ready go than they are fighting the referee to get a ready go. Um, for them, I don't care. As the referee, I don't care if you're easy or hard. You're going to eventually either do what I tell you or you're going to get fouled out. I don't
Mhm.
care. So it's really up to you. The easier allows you to get into your position with less mental fatigue, less physical fatigue, and more focus on arm wrestling. Well, I made the comment to Michael and Yorkie. If you focus more on arm wrestling, less on reffing, probably going to
Mhm.
work better, right? Let me do my job, you do yours. The other thing that I'll tell people as I'm setting them up is, I'm a way better referee than you are a cheater. So just listen to me and life is going to be easy, right? I also
Yeah.
have fun when I ref. I joke with the arm wrestlers while I'm up there. I talk to them. I mean, we're going to be really honest, refereeing kind of sucks. I mean, it is a really hard job and you're everybody's favorite asshole. So if I can't have a little bit of fun and joke around and try and lighten the mood a little bit, it's not like I'm making a living off of it.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm not getting rich off of reffing. Now, has it provided me some awesome things and some travel to other countries and an opportunity to be on a show like this? Sure. But so understand that a good referee is there to help you have a fair match. They are not there to screw you.
Mm.
If if you are always complaining that the referee won't let me have my grip that I practice with, it's probably because you're practicing with an illegal grip, and we already talked about that. If you just tuned in, go back to the beginning of the show and
Go back
listen.
to the beginning. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so again, the better you understand the rules, the better you follow the rules, the better you let the referee ref you, the easier your job as a competitor is.
Right. Fair. Solid answer. Um all right. Is there anything you wish that competitors or fans would understand better about referees? Is there anything you'd like them to understand better? You already gave answer
Well,
to
I
that a
mean,
little
I
bit.
think I think the big things would be that at the level that fans are watching, right? So by the time you're watching a match or a tournament as a fan, I'm going to say by and large you're watching good qualified referees.
Mhm.
Understand and give a little bit of grace to the fact that that person is there to try to do their very best job. We make mistakes. We always try to get better, and we really don't give a shit who wins the match.
That's the best referee.
Yeah. I mean, the
Yeah.
other thing that I tell referees is, in my opinion, the best referees want to be forgotten. They
Yeah,
don't
I've heard you say that.
want to be a part of the show, right?
Yeah.
If a match, if you talk about a match and you talk about uh Victoria and Takanaka had an amazing inside hook battle and it went both ways. And Vicky did a great job at adjusting to get a win. And Takanaka came back and made the adjustments that she needed to through the pronation in her hook to take Vicky out of her game and be able to take that match. Who refed that? I did my job perfect. If you don't remember that I refereed the match, I'm thrilled.
That's the ultimate goal for every that should be the ultimate goal for every
Should be the ultimate goal
should
for
be.
every referee is to be the great person and be forgotten. Unfortunately, it's not. There are a few referees out there on the little bit bigger stage that really want to be a part of the show.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that that's wrong. I'm
It's
just
just
saying
not the
that's
way. you go. Yeah.
If you're a promoter and you want a referee that's big and boisterous and exciting and draws attention, don't call me.
You should
I
get an arm wrestling athlete.
Yeah, get a different rep. I could name
Yeah.
them who's going to be good at that. I'm not going to name them right now.
Hmm.
Um, but if you're a promoter and you call me and that's what you want, I'll tell you who to call. No problem. They're good referees. They just
And
it's just not me. So I'm just the wrong person for that.
the
Tim
person to.
Talmadge did an event in
Mm,
Vegas with a pro wrestler, and it was going to be a show more than a match. And and he was like, "Yeah, I really wanted you to ref that." I'm like, "Ooh, I would have told you no. I'm the way wrong person for that type of entertainment." And
yeah.
he's like, "Oh yeah, I suppose, right?" It's just I'm not the
Mm.
guy. There are other people way better for that.
And looking back at arm wrestling and refereeing, what gave you the most growth as a person, like your personal life? What brought arm wrestling? We've talked a lot about like what refereeing has brought for arm wrestling and vice versa, but not what has it brought you for your personal life. Curious if
Oh, man, I'm gonna say that for me, they've really just been hand in hand.
just a
Um,
hand in hand.
being
I
being
see.
a being a top level competitor has made me a better referee.
Hmm.
Being a top level referee has made me a better competitor. Um, being in arm wrestling, I think, has made me a better person. Um, certainly better physically. I was a big fat kid most of my life.
How much did
Uh,
you weigh?
heaviest was let me
You
give it
can
to you.
say it in pounds.
Okay,
It's a
my
half.
heaviest was 280 pounds.
280 pounds. Oh dang. That's a heavy that's heavy.
Yeah, and I'm only 5'9" so
Oh,
I'm not tall,
you you were big. You were big back then.
fat. But I was over 200 pounds when I was 14 years old. So I was the fat kid growing up. It's why I started lifting weights, is because I was tired of getting picked on, so I just got stronger than everybody. And it worked, but I stayed fat. Um,
Yeah.
I found arm wrestling. I got in better shape. And I competed for a long time between 225 and 242.
Hmm.
And then 11-ish years ago, um, I decided that I really wanted to push myself back into arm wrestling and really go for a world title. So I started training better. I started eating better. Um, and then some things happened in life with some stress and stuff where we had a really hard year. So I had to control something. So I controlled my nutrition. I dropped
Hmm.
80 pounds in about 40 kilos in 8 months.
Oh wow.
And then started winning national titles. And have been as high as six in the world. And I've kept it off. Right now, I'm sitting at 86 kilos right now. Um, and at 51 years old, honestly, I think I'm probably the best, most competitive version on the table I've ever been. And so from that aspect, from a physical aspect, a competitive aspect, a better, healthier me for my business, my family, my everything, um, arm wrestling has given me a reason better than myself to work hard.
I also think from like a business standpoint, if I see somebody that neglects his physical body, I think that also will reflect on the partnership I'm going to be working on with that person. In my opinion, I think if I'm
Well, I can
sitting
tell
across
you
somebody, yeah,
because I track my business, obviously,
obviously,
when
yeah,
when I'm in the best shape for big events, my production at work is highest. They very much go hand in hand. When I feel good, when I look good, when I am eating good, when I am training good, I'm way better at work too. They go hand in hand for me.
and and
Maybe
and
that's
the
not the way
people,
for everybody, but for me.
but the people you work with or your clients will probably perceive that as well. Because if somebody doesn't is not able to keep his the urges to eat or doesn't work out, can't keep that in control, how are my financial worries taken away if I transfer that to this person?
Yep.
So
Plus, if if you're working with somebody's money, you really want to have confidence that that person knows what they're doing.
yeah,
Well, when I'm really in good shape and my nutrition is really good and I'm competing really good and I'm training really good, my confidence is up as well.
you
Just in what
perform
I'm
better.
doing. So
Yeah.
you portray that, right?
Hmm.
People are drawn to that. I mean, people, have you ever been in a room where John Brzenk is at?
No, I
Okay.
haven't.
I have many times. I've had the opportunity in life to compete against John, to ref John, to sit and drink beer with John. I'm very blessed in that fact that I've been able to have a relationship with John Brzenk. Because if for no other reason than he's the GOAT, right? It's just cool that
Hmm.
I've had the opportunity. But John's just a really great guy. But if you're in a room with John, you can see people just gravitate
It's
towards
just a
John.
magnet.
It's that confidence that John has, whether it's on purpose or not. When he walks into an arm wrestling room, John knows he's going to win. You feel that, right? Whether you understand what you're feeling or not, you feel it.
You feel something. You feel the anxiousness or whatever. You're doubting yourself. Is the
Absolutely.
plan?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just there. So yeah. So I mean, that's probably in life how it's helped me the most.
Mm.
That the funny thing is from the moment I found out that arm wrestling existed at the world level, I have wanted to be a world champion. I have not accomplished it yet, and it's still my primary goal.
Yeah, that's I also want to ask about that. You still want to be you still want the WAF title, right?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. So,
Oddly, I never cared if I was a top level referee, and I
hmm.
still don't. Like, I
So,
know for a fact in the sport, I'm going to be remembered as the ref.
yeah. Yeah.
I will rather be remembered as the arm wrestler. I really would. But my
Well,
goal was never to be one of the better referees out there.
mhm.
That was never a goal. I had a goal to get a WAF master
Mhm.
because that's an accomplishment. But my goal was never to be titled head ref of East versus West. I would argue that there is no head ref of East versus West. We're a referee team.
Fair.
Um, I'm the guy that organizes it, which is why they call me head, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm any better ref than the people that I ref with at East versus West.
That's
Uh,
fairly humble to say.
I I have been told by people you're the best referee on the planet. I don't agree. I think there's referees
Mm.
that are better than me. Um,
So,
but
but
it is never a goal.
so coming back to your aspirations to become or get a WF title, how are you planning to reach that path? And raise coaching probably has a hand in that.
Yep.
What is the path?
So the path is harder now with East versus West
Hmm.
because East versus West has opened up some opportunities for me to travel
Yeah.
and to travel at no expense to other countries, which that's a pretty hard thing to say no to. It's given me the opportunity to be around the very best in the sport, which is fun. Like to, when I meet people and they're like, have you ever that guy from Canada, Devin? Yeah, have you ever met him? You want to talk to him? Here's his number. Like, Devin? Yes. Travis? Yes. I know them all, right? That's cool because to me they're not superstars. It's Devin, right? I've known
It's
Devin for
just a buddy.
40 years.
It's just a
You
buddy
know,
at this point.
I met Michael Todd for the first time in 2000. I mean,
That's
Michael,
the year I was born. That's
ever. Fuck you. Um, not the nicest way possible, of course.
yeah. No offense taken.
So, but there's only so much time that I can travel and compete or ref because I do run a business. I do have a
Yeah.
family. So I can only give up so much time. So now I'm stuck of how much East versus West can I commit to
Mhm.
and still be able to take the time it takes to go qualify for Team USA,
Yeah.
spend 8 or 10 days in another country for Worlds because it's a long event, um, and stuff. This year is even harder because Worlds is in India,
Mhm.
and the reason I say it's harder is because it's zero desire to go to India. Like it's
Oh,
just
fair.
not a place I want to go. I'm
That
sure
makes
it's
two of
wonderful.
us.
I don't want to
But
go to India.
yeah, me neither.
So, but I
Yeah.
also know that so the things I know are that winning a world title for me is at the Masters level.
Mhm.
It is probably not in the Open Pro. As much
Mhm.
as I would love to think I could still do that, I'm also realistic.
Yeah.
My best opportunity is as a master. Okay. Uh, the Masters world title is not easy to win because now when you go look at Masters classes, there's 20, 25 people in the Masters classes, and half the people in there used to be an Open class world champion.
Shit.
So it ain't easy. Um, but I also know that if I don't make Worlds a focus this year, I'm that much older next year,
Yeah.
and it's not going to get easier.
Any easier? No, it's not.
The other side of it is I love competing internationally. Like I do. I would much rather go pull a small tournament where you're at than
Mhm.
a small tournament where I'm at.
Because that's the same thing like you said before with Portugal with Gabriela. It's the same
Yep.
feeling because there's new people
It's,
and
it's fun,
yeah,
right? It's just fun. I know everybody that's going to be at the Wyoming State Tournament.
because you've been so long in the sport.
I know everybody that I'm going to beat, and I know that I'm going to take second place to Corey Miller. I just know that.
Does
Okay,
everything? Yeah, it feels a
right?
bit repetitive. Then yeah, I
Yeah,
understand.
well, yep. There's not the now. I still get nervous. I still get the butterflies before the event, but it's
Mm-hmm.
different. The nerves I had in Switzerland, huh, I loved it, loved it, loved the unknown.
Like you're on
Loved,
fire. You're
yeah.
alive. It's like
So
yeah.
I'll be in Vienna, Austria, for East
Mm-hmm.
versus West 22,
Oh, great.
20.
22. Yep, you're
Yep.
correct.
And I'm gonna pull the tournament.
Oh, I'm gonna be there as well.
So
That's gonna be
knowing
yeah,
knowing that 2 or 3 times this year I'm going to have an opportunity to compete internationally
yeah.
does make it harder to make the push for Worlds.
Because you
But
yeah. All right.
but I'm also very hard on myself as far as a competitor goes. Like I'm my worst critic,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm better at it than I used to be as far as being hard on myself. But I feel like I've had good success in the sport at this point. But even 5 years ago, if you'd have asked me, have you been successful? I'd have said not yet because I didn't have a world title.
Mm.
Well, that's a pretty hard bar. I mean,
If you're a 9 times national champion,
right, a 9-time national champ. I've been my best in the Masters class is sixth in the world. My best in the Open Pro is seventh in the world. Who gets to say that?
yeah,
And where that really started to sink in was I was in Romania in 2019 and I got beat out, finished sixth in the world. And you have the adrenaline dump, you have the emotion flush, and it's over. And I obviously must have looked a little bit depressed because I lost. And
mm,
a gentleman that I know from Russia walked over and he said, "What's wrong? Are you hurt?" And I'm like, "No." And I pointed at the board. And he looks at it and he looks back at me and he goes, "Five people in the world better than you. You're fine." And walked away. And I was like, okay, that's
fair
pretty good
enough.
point.
Yeah,
Okay. I mean, fine, give me a minute. But and then the next
Mm,
day, I stepped, or 2 days later, I stepped up with a day's worth of abuse on my arm, and in the 85 kilogram cat class, made sixth in the Open Pro. Plum and Dimitrov took me out. Okay,
mm,
right? How do you argue with that? Um, so I'm getting better at accepting that success doesn't have to just be a world title.
yeah.
But I'm also not ready to let that
Let it
dream
go. I
yet.
see.
I don't know that I'll ever be ready to let it go. I also don't know that I'll ever accomplish it.
Mm,
Um, I think from a physical capabilities aspect, I'm capable of winning a WAF Masters title.
mm-hmm.
I just don't know from a logistical standpoint
If it's possible. Yeah.
if it's possible. Am I willing to do it? I just don't know. I'm really at a difficult point in my competitive career
Mm-hmm.
of what's next. Coach Ray has also been very, very beneficial to me there. 6 months ago, I was ready to quit arm wrestling and hang up my ref shirt.
Oh wow.
I was just simply ready to be done with both.
How
So,
come? How come? How did you come
well,
to that
honestly,
point?
I can walk away from refing tomorrow.
Okay.
And might. It is a thankless job. Uh, it's wildly difficult to do it well. There's a lot more politics in it than you'd ever imagine. And then when everybody tells you you're terrible at something and you put so much effort into it, you kind of get to a point where you're like, you know what?
Who am I
Deal
doing
with
it for?
this guy. Exactly. Yeah.
Hmm.
Not that East versus West doesn't treat me financially very fairly as a referee,
Mm-hmm.
but for me to take the time that it takes to go to Austria, I lose money
Yeah.
because I'm not in my business where I make money.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And that's not a criticism of East versus West at all. They
Mm-hmm.
treat me very fairly. I'm very happy with how I'm treated as a referee for East versus West. So that's not my point at all. And I'm making the decision that I'm okay with that. Um, so I'm not doing it for the money. I'm doing it because I want the sport to be better. I want athletes to have the best opportunity in a match they can. And I think I have an opportunity to help provide that.
Mm.
And then essentially you kind of get treated like crap. So you get why. The sport aspect of it, I was really at a point where I didn't know where I fit.
Mm.
Was I Am I not as good as I think I am and I'm kidding myself? And I need to just realize I'm not that good. Or am I better than I give myself credit for and I'm not pushing myself hard enough to reach it? And I had that conversation with Ray when he was at my house for a week after the Shaw Classic and East
Mm-hmm.
versus West 20. Um,
I think it's 20.
and Ray did a very good job of helping me hear the loud popping sound of my head coming out of my ass, and that arm wrestling is supposed to be fun. And I had made it not fun anymore. Since then, I've been from the Swiss Open until Atlantic City, I did 4 competitions in 6 weeks, which is way too many.
Yeah.
Um, and they all went really well. I won Masters. I took second in the Open Pro in the Swiss Open. I had a super match in Chicago that I won, and then I took third at the East versus West competition in Atlantic City. Should have done better, but I made a mistake in a match, and that happens. Um, and but that's a lot of abuse on an arm over a 6 week period of time. But I had fun. I remembered that arm wrestling is fun. Um, so I'm nowhere near ready to stop competing.
Mm-hmm.
I could truly stop reffing at any point.
What what
That's
what what do you think needs to change for to keep people like you within the sport? Um, what do you think needs to change in in that aspect? Is it the community? Should we altogether be less harsh and give you a little bit more grace like you like referees? Is it the community? Is it the commons? Is it the athletes at the table who should just appreciate you guys more?
uh, that's a hard question.
Mm.
Um, I mean, I think all of the things you said would help.
Yeah,
I also think to a point, just me personally, I'm just I'm just kind of getting tired.
because you've been in the game for so long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so I mean, I'm not saying that I'm considering hanging up my ref shirt because solely because we're unappreciated as referees and I'm tired of
Okay.
people telling me that I did a terrible job. That's
Okay.
not
Okay.
the case at
Gotcha.
all. But none of those things help either.
Mm. Hmm.
Um, hold on one second. Sending a quick text message.
Yeah. After this, I got one closing question that I really like to get, and then
We just message the person that I'm supposed to call here in a few minutes, telling him I'm going to be a few minutes late. He'll be fine with
okay.
that. So,
Okay.
um, no, I mean, I think I think it's a me thing.
It's just okay.
And honestly, again, there's only so much time that a person has to give,
Mm-hmm.
and I would rather go compete than go ref.
Then start. Yeah.
I'm still a very good arm wrestler and very competitive, and I know I won't be forever.
Yeah.
I mean, at a
And
point, I'm just
mhm.
not gonna be. Like the kid from Ukraine that beat me in Switzerland. It was so funny because when he won, so he put me into the losers bracket. I won the semifinals and I came back to him in the finals. Um, he won. Obviously, he was outstanding arm wrestler. He came over to me when we were waiting for our awards and asked me. He says, "You're so strong. How old are you?" And I said, "I'm 51." He just shook his head. He says, "Wow." And I said, "How old are you?" And he goes, "I'm 23." And I'm like, "Wow." It's like freaking opposite ends there, right? Um,
Hmm.
so you know, it's also the really cool part of our sport is as we get older, we can still stay competitive. I mean, there's a lot of guys that prove that, and I think I'm one of them.
Yeah.
Um, but it also doesn't go on forever, right? Recovery gets harder, injuries stack up, the little
Hmm.
injuries become a big injury, and things like that. So I mean, that nobody gets to do it forever at a top level.
At
And I,
that
I
at that
I am
level,
able to do it at a top level. Maybe not the elite level,
but
uh,
at least.
but at a very high top level, I'm very competitive. So I want to ride that and enjoy that as long as I can. And refereeing gets in the way
Hmm. Hmm.
in a good way, but it does get in the way. So it's a constant battle for me. Also, I have a ton of respect for Robert Baxter,
Hmm.
both from a business aspect, from a personal aspect. I mean, Robert is a human that I look up to.
Hmm.
I look at Robert as a friend. I look at Robert as a mentor. Um, I just I don't know that I could express the level of respect I have for Robert Baxter, and that has been there long before East versus West was a thing. Um,
You've
and
known
I
him for
told
a long
Robert
time.
this. The reason I am still reffing for East versus West is because of him.
Hmm.
No other reason. I have a ton of respect for Robert. He's asked me to help, and I don't want to let Robert down. Period.
Right.
Um, so that adds a level of complexity. If it was still
Yeah.
Engen, I wouldn't still be reffing. And that is not a dig on Engen.
Hmm. Hmm.
Engen did amazing things for the sport and for East versus West. Um, East versus West would not exist without Engen.
Hmm. Hmm.
Engen provided me an opportunity to showcase my referee skills at East versus West. And it grew from there. So no ill will towards Engen at all.
Hmm.
I just know that from a relationship standpoint with Engen, I wouldn't still be refing at East versus West
Because the
because it
dynamic
would
is.
have been easier for me to walk away and just go compete.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a dig against Engen in any way, shape, or form.
No.
I'm very comfortable with the fact that I would probably have hung up my ref shirt about a year ago.
Hmm. All right. Um, one last finishing up question that I have, which I think is very important. You have mentioned that building a system to referee matches the same way every single time, what does that system look like for you? And is it applicable for every um, referee?
Yep.
So what do you
So
go through, right?
So yeah, so yes, the referee, if you want to move up as a referee, you have to have systems in place. The reasons
Mhm.
you want to have systems in place are under pressure, you default to habit. The more stressful something is, the more likely you are to default to your habit. Just like if you train with an illegal grip, when you go to a tournament and you get stressed, you're going to
Yeah.
default to an illegal grip. So, as a referee, if you do things the same way every time, ideally the right way, but the
Mhm.
same every time, when you all of a sudden find yourself on the biggest arm wrestling stage in the world and there's all that stress, your default is your system and it makes it easy. So, my system is when I walk to the table, you give them a couple of seconds to kind of negotiate. I'm
Mhm.
pretty much immediately saying knuckles, knuckles, because it's the biggest thing. Everybody wants to cover
Mhm.
knuckle. Um, and you just start taking control. I also start touching the hands relatively quick.
Okay.
Not in a way to manipulate, but in a way to say, hey guys, I'm here. Like I'm controlling here. I'm in charge. We're here together. I want my presence known in a very direct but subtle way. I'm not
Mhm.
grabbing, I'm just reaching in and I'm starting to be part of what they're doing. Get that kind of settled a little bit. I hit knuckles, knuckles, knuckles. We get there. I always start with knuckles because it's where I start. From knuckles,
Mhm.
I go to shoulders. Shoulders, I go to wrists. Wrists, I go to go. But when I'm doing shoulders, I still got to do knuckles. When I'm doing wrists, I've still got to do shoulders and knuckles and elbows. And none of it stops, but that's how I go through it. So
I
you'll
see.
see me, if you really watch, you'll see me adjusting wrists, wrist, 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 shoulder, wrist, 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 knuckle, wrist, shoulder, shoulder, wrist, wrist, all at the same time. But you don't see me start with a wrist. You'll always, if you really watch, you'll see me talking about knuckles, hitting a shoulder, and then going to a wrist.
Why do you not start with the wrist?
Because it's the last thing. Straight
Is the
wrists are
last thing.
what you do before you say go. If I
Yeah,
get your
fair.
wrist perfectly straight and then I tell you your thumb, you're
Mhm.
gonna move your wrist.
True.
I do
True.
it the
That's a
most
good
logical
thing.
way to keep you in a good position so that we can say go.
I see.
Referee's grip, I do a referee's grip exactly the same every time. I get your hands together. First, before you start the referee's grip, I ask if you want over or under.
Over
How
under.
do you
Yeah.
want your thumb? So I
Mhm.
know that before I start. I don't ask in the middle of a referee's grip. I know before we start. I place your hands together for the webbing. I put my finger between your thumbs. I bring in your shoulder and I say, don't move. When the word don't move is said, that's when a referee grip starts.
Mhm.
From that point forward, you're risking a warning at East versus West or a foul in a turn. Shoulder here, don't move. I always start with the furthest shoulder away. So this furthest away. Do that, do this shoulder, then I pull the hands apart, bring them together so I have the webbing and the distance right. I do my thumbs. I always close the hand facing me first and then the next hand. The reason I always do the hand facing me first is because no matter how many warnings, fouls, regrips we have to do in the referee's grip, I always know who's closed next because I always know where I started. So I don't have to wonder, okay, who did I close last time? Because I always do it the same.
And then when you forget something, for example, in the process, you default back to that. Yeah. All right.
Yep. So it's
Cool.
just a default mechanism.
Yeah.
The other really, really good habit to get into as a referee is anytime there's a warning or a foul, you tell it to the competitors. So you've got a warning and a foul, and your competitor has a foul, just fouled. You come back to the table. I'm going to go, you have one warning, one foul. You have one foul, and then I start. Keeps it
And then
straight
they
in my
know.
head. So I don't make a mistake. That's why I do it. I
Uh-huh.
don't do it so you as an arm wrestler know you have a foul. That's a huge benefit that I do that. I do it so I can keep track,
Uh,
right? I'm the one that has to remember everything. You just have to pin a guy. Now, is it
yep,
beneficial for you that I do that? Of course it is.
of course, yeah.
Huge benefit for you to be reminded that you're on a full count. You have one warning and one foul. You cannot screw up.
If I mess up again, then I'm
You're
out.
done.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you can't go, I didn't know I had a warning. Of course you did. I told you.
Yeah, he
But
told the
I
person.
do that every time so I keep track. So I always know the count. Because whether it's a super match and you're on your 15th start of the third match in the third round in the match, or it's the 300th ready go that I've set at WAF,
Mhm.
everything jumbles together in your head if you don't have systems in place to keep it straight. Now,
All right.
I
Gotcha.
would tell you as a young referee or as a newer referee or even as an advanced referee that just wants to get
Mhm.
better, take the systems I just described and learn them and do them exactly like I do them.
All
Not
right.
because my system is right, but I know it works. And the more referees do everything the same, the
The
better it is.
same. That's yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, I'll
Yep.
make a nice short and probably a longer format because I'll cut this down into multiple sections. I'll put out the big interview online, and then I'll also cut them down. All right, is it awesome? Thank you for taking the time.
Yeah. Thanks for
I
having me.
think it's very valuable. I'm gonna rewatch everything, obviously, because I'm gonna edit everything, and then we'll have some valuable content for the community. So
Awesome. Thanks so much for having me. This was good.